Money news, and ouch, after a big day on the markets yesterday, well, we've lost all that and more. The Dow is down 186 points, and here to tell us why is Keith Springer from Springer Financial. Nice to have you on the couch.
Good to be back.
All right. So I said, boy, we're tanking. What's going on?
I don't know. I should have my helmet on today.
Yeah,
it could be an ugly
seriously.
day for Wall Street.
Yeah,
You know what?
raincoat.
Basically, the election is over, and it's time for Congress to get down to business. A lot of people believe that Obama's going to face an uphill battle fighting with Congress over the fiscal cliff. That's a combination of tax increases and spending cuts, which is going to really hamper the economy if they can't come up with a compromise. So they're facing a lot all at once. A lot of people thought Romney would be a little bit better in dealing with Congress, but Obama doesn't exactly have the best reputation, but he'll probably have to reach across the aisle.
Yeah, and we have this perfect storm because they're two separate things that just happen to be happening at the same time. The tax cuts, the Bush-era tax cuts are set to expire.
Right.
And then the sequestration, which is a big word that simply means when the Congress got together, they could not figure out where to cut. So there's just these automatic massive cuts all happening at the same time. If in some regard we're getting our house in order, I mean, the markets are not happy that we're moving more towards a balanced budget, just because it's so ham-fisted?
It's all at once. The problem is if we hit with spending cuts and decreases in tax increases and spending cuts, there's a lot of economists that feel like it could be a 4% hit to GDP. That would put us in a recession or even a depression, because you have no spending by the government, no expenditures by anybody that gets those receipts. People with money pay higher taxes. Obviously, that's not going to happen. There'll be some compromise. As Winston Churchill said, you can always count on our politicians to do what's right after all other options have been explored. So we have no choice. These guys, are up against the wall. So what we've got to do is come up with a compromise. They have no choice. What the market is doing is it's giving them a little kick in the butt. It's basically saying, get out there. It's time to work on this. We're tired of dealing with this, and sending a message to Congress and to Wall Street that it's time to get back to business. The election's over, and you've got to get back to work for the American people.
How about some real quick practical advice? I'm Joe Investor. I'm trying to keep an eye on my portfolio. Is now a time to just kind of sit back and wait and see what happens? I mean, is now a good time to be aggressive on anything?
Well, I've always taken the approach with my radio show and on my newsletter. It's not really the time to be aggressive. The market's at the end of a 4-year run in a bull market. You've got to have a pullback. Even trees don't grow to the sky. Now, naturally, it can't sit in cash at 0.2%, but you've got to find the right investments. As I like to say, invest for need, not for greed. Find the right investments that are right for your portfolio. I believe in income, dividends, lower risk, lower volatility, where you're getting some return. But if you don't need all the risk, don't take it, or you're going to end up working 5, 10, 20 years longer.
We don't want that, no.
All right, actually, we'll get some very specific advice from you next hour when you're answering viewer questions that people have sent in, and they're related to that. So thanks, Keith. We appreciate it. If you have any questions for Mr. Springer, send it in. Money@fox40.com is our email address. You can just call him up during the day. He'll answer the phone and talk to you. It's 916-925-8900, and you'll get a lot of information from his website as well, keithspringer.com. You can sign up for the newsletter.
And here's Sheldon Orvis in the Atlanta Reno Traffic Center.
And just getting word of a collision. This one just popped up on our radar.